And then I'm going to start sharing my screen so you guys can see these awesome slides for the webinar today. I hope you guys are having a marvelous Monday and an amazing start to your week. If you go ahead and take a moment, put who you are and who you help in the chat, and I will be looking out for it. So for me, I am Megan Wing, and I am a business systems coach. And today we are going to be talking all about sales and how to get more sales this summer, which is gonna be great. Morgan, it's great to see you. Claire, it's great to see you. Annette, it's great to see you. I'm so glad you're here. And I hope it's Derica. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. I was like, we're gonna have
Yeah,
so.
that's right.
Hey, Derica, so glad you're here. Now, you guys got an awesome email about an hour ago with one of the beauties of having a business is sometimes having technical difficulties. So for you guys, there was a link in that webinar message that you got an hour ago that had a Google document for you to fill out as we go along. And if you haven't noticed, that webinar link or the document link was actually editable for everybody. So if you saw that, that's fine. Feel free to make your own copy. Or if you click the link I just put in the chat, it'll say force copy. Would you like to make a copy of this document? And I like to take notes as I go along with webinars and things like that. So if you click make a copy here, it'll give you a personalized version of the big document that you got an hour ago. So I know a lot of people got this one, but if you make notes on here, everybody can see it, which is not great. So if you use the link that I put in the chat, that should be the right link and it'll force a copy for you. So I'll keep putting that link as people join. And we're gonna take like another like 60 seconds just to get everybody in and for you to get that link. So again, the link, if you go to the link in the chat, it is the correct link. And if you're watching the replay, I heard from a lot of people that the earlier time was not necessarily something that they could make. So I might be moving future webinars back to 8 p.m. But at least for this webinar, if you're watching the replay, in the replay link that you guys get, you'll have an opportunity to get this worksheet as well. Such a fun time. Also, today's just been a really fun technology day. It's been great. So many things have happened with tech and automations, people not getting emails. It's been so fun. We're living the dream and we're figuring it out. Dicky, tell me it's a Monday without telling me it's a Monday, right? It's like such an adventure. Melinda, it is so good to have you here. I'm including a link in the chat that has an editable Google document if you'd like to use it and follow along. Otherwise, everybody, welcome. It is so good to have you all here. I'm going to be talking more about everything that happens if you book a consult by Friday because I would love to have you, but that will come later after some deep learning. So today what we're going to be doing is we are going to be talking about how to get more sales over the summer. That's my goal for each and every one of you. I know that the summer slip is something that I'm sure you guys have heard about, where a lot of times people think that they get less sales over the summer, and I'm going to help you avoid that summer slip so that you can continue to get sales even during the summer months. So today you are in the right place if you want to be more efficient and you want to close the consults that you are getting. I know for me, I wanted to make sure I could help as many people as possible. And a way that you can do that is absolutely by closing the consults and working with people long term. The other thing is if you want to expand your business. So many of you, if you are thinking about like bringing in more clients over the summer, making sure you're actually getting those consults, we want to solve that problem first if you're not getting consults. And we're going to be talking about how you can help more people by getting better messaging that's clear, that articulates your offer to more people so that you can help even more people, bring them into consults, close them, and actually support them long term. The third thing, if you're in the right place, is if you would like growth. So if you want to, like I mentioned, bring in even more consults with your marketing so that then you can help the humans, this is going to be the webinar for you. And if you want a little bit more direction, many people I know have a flow for consults. They know a general idea of how to do consults, and we're going to talk about how to upgrade that today. And I want this to be interactive. So like I mentioned in the chat, if you are just joining us, Eleni and Dr. Dana, I just saw that you joined. So if you would like to follow along with the worksheet in the chat, you can. So I want you to be able to apply things from this webinar literally right away. Like as I'm talking, I want you to be thinking about how you can shift your messaging already. I want you to think about what you could do for past consults that could make it even better. And I want to make sure that you know exactly how to close future consults and even improve sales from where you're at right now. So today, you are going to have the clarity to know how to shift your marketing and actually address different buying styles. So at times, I found that we've always been taught to sell in one style. That's why we're going to talk about all 4 different styles today. You're also going to learn how to have a structure that you can shift. So it's important to have a structure for your consult. And we're going to talk about how you can shift that depending on who you're talking to and how to read the room, really understand the psychology of why people are buying from you, what motivates them to drive and take more action. And we're going to talk about how to compel people to actually opt in with the potential clients that you are getting. And last but not least, one of the biggest things that I get a question about is how to overcome objections. So when people are thinking about working with you, and typically most offers are offers that are on the typically thousands of dollars, people might have objections. Nothing has gone wrong, I promise. And what we want to do is we want to make sure that people have a way that they can get their objections answered in a way that will serve them the best and actually fit their needs. So I've got lots of new faces actually today. I am so glad to see all of you. If you are not familiar with me, my name is Megan Wing, and I am the founder of the Six Figure Systems Mastermind. Within that mastermind, my goal is to help more entrepreneurs make more money and impact in less time. And one of the reasons why I founded my business coaching program is so that more people could make the impact that I was actually able to do in my first year full time. So when I first started my business, I was part-time for the first 2 years. And then I actually scaled to 6 figures in that first year. I went full time. I learned how to run a business in a way that actually made sense. And I want to teach you how to do the same because I heard a lot about different aspects of business and I combined all of them within the Six Figure Systems program. And one of the things that I'm going to be sprinkling throughout is just like evidence that this works. So when I'm talking about these sales structures and strategies, it's the same thing that I've taught my clients too. So not only do my client have I gotten results, but my client Amber has also gotten results, and many of my other clients have also shared their results, and they're going to be sharing them throughout this program. And within her first 4 months that we worked together, she made 10K. She now has content that converts, just like I'm about to teach you tonight. We're going to talk about the messaging that actually gets people to jump on a sales call if they aren't already. And what I taught her to sign 5 new clients just within her first round of the mastermind. So this is really critical stuff that you can literally make small tweaks to the post that might be going up tomorrow that can actually bring in more people for consults this week and even in the future. And now we've got a fun slide here. Oh, look, I didn't mean to make it go in the automation, but I'm like, that's fancy, so fun. Oh, technology. So today we're going to start by talking about the problems, why the marketing and structure of your sales calls might not be converting as many people as you want. If you're like, I know I can help people, but where are the humans? What is going on? Why have people not booked calls? I hope to provide some answers for that today. Then I'm going to go over a 3-step process so that you can close more sales this summer, how you can quickly identify a buyer's needs and address them in an ethical way. Then I'm going to share with you about some bonuses that I mentioned at the beginning about how I could help you utilize the strategies that I teach within Six Figure Systems to help you grow. And then we'll open it up for Q&A. So I have time after this call. If you can stay on, great. If you have questions in the meantime, if you wouldn't mind putting them in the chat, I won't be reading from the chat as we go, but at the end, I will answer all of your questions, I promise. And if you can't stay after and we do go over a smidge, there will be a replay in your inbox that will be coming. So today I want to talk about the problem. What are some misconceptions that I've seen in marketing that kind of create sales aversion, we'll just say, where people are not signing up for calls, or what's happening on sales calls that is making people not buy? So what happens is I've seen a lot of people that are like, I really want to get more sales over the summer. I know good at what I do. I know I can help people. So here's my plan. I'm going to saturate the market. I'm going to post as much as I can whenever I can. And you might be thinking, Megs, why is this a problem? That seems like the right move. And it is, but you need to be directing your marketing in a very specific way. If you're just saturating the market with different posts, that's good. We want to take that to great so that those posts are actually effective. Another thing that I've seen when people want to get more sales over the summer, I've seen people that have a really set structure and you speak to the same benefits every single time that you do a consult. So you're speaking to the same features, you're saying the same thing and the same benefits in every consult, which seems like a good thing. And having that structure is solid, but we need to switch the structure depending on what your person needs, what's actually happening on the consult. And the other thing I've seen that is a good starting place is having a script. I love a good structure. I love even sometimes having some automated responses so that you're ready to go. However, having a script for your sales calls isn't the best way to get more sales over the summer because you have the same response for every single objection. We're going to talk about if this is you, if you're saturating, structuring, and scripting your consults, I'm going to talk to you about how we can change those things so that you can get more sales. Now, here are the misconceptions that you might not realize. More posts does not equal more sales. I have seen people that have done a ton of posting, are posting 7 days a week, multiple times a week, and they think that is how you're going to get sales. But it's not how many times you post. You need to have better posts that address different types of needs. This is a big issue that I've seen with people and something that I did myself. So when I first started my business, I thought, you post and people just come. That's great. And that is not necessarily the case. When I was posting, I was doing 7 posts a week. And I went 7 months without a consult when I first started my business. So you need to be careful that your marketing is actually poignant, that you're using the right words to bring in people to get sales, not just posting for the sake of posting. The other thing that you need to know is that a lot of times we think what motivates ourselves is going to drive other people to buy. So if you buy things in a certain way, it makes sense as to you thinking that's how everybody buys. Every single person is going to need to hear the same things that I needed to hear to make a purchase. And that's not necessarily the case. When you are selling to a broad audience, you need to have different aspects of your sales and of your marketing that actually drive different people to buy. You also need to have an individualized element to your consults. All consults having the same flow is a good start, but you need to customize that flow and you need to read a person when you're on a consult. You need to understand what's going on for them and you might need to make some tweaks. So for instance, instead of just going through the exact same flow, you might have a person that has objections right away. You might have another person that comes on and they are already sold. They're like, yep, this is pretty much just a formality. Both of those things could happen. And you want to make sure that you don't just go through the same 3 steps every single time. You want to make sure that you're fitting the flow for each person that comes in. And last but not least, I think that this is a misconception that I had, especially in my first couple years of business, is that time away from your business means less sales. So for me, I actually didn't go on a trip with my family. My first summer that I went full time, I was like, I can't do it. I was like, I can't take a full week away from my business or else my whole business will be failing. And especially over the summer, I went up to New Jersey to visit my family there, and they all wanted to go to the beach. And I had a person book a consult, and I didn't block my calendar off. So before I stopped going to the beach, I was like, oh, somebody booked a consult, so I can't go to the beach. I missed the whole morning with my family, and the consult didn't even show. I'm sure you guys have maybe experienced similar things, and that happens. That's okay. But I don't want you to have to sacrifice things. I don't want you to sacrifice your life to have the business you want. I have already been able to go just this year on 10 different trips, actually kind of 11, counting this whole weekend when I spent with my family. I've gone 8 weeks without consults because I don't need to get consults every single week. And I've already made over $220,000 this year. So I want you to know that it's safe to take time off from your business. It is safe to take your summer, and you can also make things in a way that you can get more sales. Thanks, Annette. I was like, I appreciate it. I was like, it's one of those things that like, I just want to share with you that it is truly possible for you. And here's why. When you're thinking about doing your messaging, you can actually funnel people to do consults in a specific amount of time. That's how you can take more time off. But you want to make sure that the posting that you're doing is quality, that you have a plan for when you go on trips, for when you go and do things, and that people are booking consults even when you're away. And that means that you need to make sure that your quality of your posts is really poignant and it addresses different types of buyers. I've seen a lot of people, and you guys are gonna, the second that I show you the 4 types of buyers, you're gonna be like, oh my goodness, this is what all of my posts are like. I'm sure you're gonna start to see trends that like you might be doing one type of marketing and one type of messaging to one type of buyer. And you need to differentiate it a little bit. You need to switch it up, and we'll talk about how to do that. And if you guys want, I can even take a look at some of your posts and things like that as well. The next piece is you need to differentiate things. So when we're thinking about just on a sales call or even in your messaging, there are different reasons why there are different things that drive people's investments. People are motivated by different things. So you might think that every single person that does a consult with you might need to hear about time being an objection. They don't have enough time. And you might be thinking that that's something that's a problem for them. But you need to have a differentiated argument for different, and not an argument, but a differentiated stance for different pieces of your business, because different things matter to different people. If I have somebody who is let's say a working mom, and they want to run their business part-time, then I want to be focusing on the things that matter the most to them. I also might have somebody who wants to just grow their business and they're full-time, they just want to scale and they've got lots of time to do that. They might have different preferences for things that make them want to buy. So I want to make sure that I'm differentiating things for them. You also want to have a customizable flow for your consults. So for every consult, and if you guys aren't getting consults at all, we'll talk about this piece, but within the consults that you are getting, you want to make sure that you have a flow that isn't the same for everybody. You want to make sure that it's customizable for everyone's needs. What I see a lot of people doing, which is a great place to start, is that you're like, okay, where are you now? Where do you want to be? And then here's the places I can help. But for a lot of people, where they are now and where they want to be, especially if you're a generalist, they could say anything under the sun. They could say that they want help. Let's say you're a general life coach. They could say, oh, I need help with my mother-in-law. They could be saying, I want a promotion at work. They could be saying, I want to move to Albuquerque. They might be saying lots of different things. You want to make sure that you have a consult flow that doesn't just address this one specific, like where are you now and where you want to go. You want to make it something that's customizable, that can flow to meet each person's needs. And then you also want to make sure that you're using your time intentionally. So depending on how much time you have for a consult, again, I would recommend an hour if you guys don't have a time already, but I want you to make sure that you're using your time effectively. These people, if they do book a call and you do have consults that are an hour, they are spending an entire hour of their time with you. That time is insanely valuable. You want to be telling them things that matter to them, not just a script, not just something that is something that you think is valuable. You want to make sure that it's clear and important to them. You don't want to just say things that you think are important to you. You want to be understanding what is driving them so that you can get more sales. And again, one of the things that I see is people think they need to have consults every week. They think that they need to have consults, multiple consults, like hundreds of consults every single week. And what I would recommend is instead of getting more consults, actually closing the consults you have. So you don't necessarily need more. Now, it depends on your business. You might need more consults to actually close some consults. But if you need to just close the consults you have, you need to have a clear vision for it. So that's why we're going to get into the solution. And if you are just joining us, hello, it is great to see you guys. I'm putting in the chat a Google document that you can use to follow along. If you would like to, it'll show you this customized Google Doc. It'll go into your Google Drive and it'll show you the different types of buyers. So this would be a good point. If you have a computer, pull up this. If you don't, that's totally fine. I'm going to go over this. But the solution then is to make sure that you're productively structuring your sales in order to meet multiple clients' needs. So you want to make sure that you have a very customized solution, which means that you need to understand the psychology of sales. Now, when I was first starting my business, I didn't understand that there were different types of buying styles. So I wasn't using this in my marketing. I wasn't using this in my sales calls. I was just going with what type of buying style I had. So we're going to make a shift for that today. And you need to understand what actually motivates people and what psychologically drives them to buy. So the first type of buyer is the expressive buyer. These buyers need to see the big picture. And you want to have they want to see the big view. They want to see how this is going. The investing of their time will affect them years into the future. And they want to make it applicable. Whatever your sale is, you want to make that offer something that is going to really drive them and make them really excited for things in the future. So when I've been seeing this in a lot of people's marketing, is I've seen this is the main type of marketing I see pretty much everybody use is the expressive buying. They're like, imagine at 2 p.m. you're doing this. And like, I want you to imagine that years from now, you're going to be able to do this. It's a lot about like the big picture of their life. You want to have that like 2 p.m. kind of context, but you don't just want to have this in your marketing. You want to differentiate your marketing for the other types of buyers as well. So the expressive buyers, they're driven by the big picture, and you'll know that you have an expressive buyer on a consult with you if you start mentioning things about the longevity of their life, if they start asking questions about, okay, what can I expect to see 6 months from now? What kind of things can I expect to learn? One of the things that you're going to be doing is you're going to be making sure that you sell to those types of buyers. And when you know that you've got an expressive buyer on a consult with you, you want to make sure that you're painting the vision for them, giving them the big picture. So that is the first type of buyer, the expressive buyer. The second type of buyer is results driven. These types of buyers are what I am driven by. Fun fact. So my buying style, if somebody tells me what I can accomplish and they're very clear about my goals and they have very clear processes and systems, I am sold almost immediately. Like it really doesn't, I am a very fast buyer as well. And so are most results driven buyers. They're people that will not need more time. They do not need a follow up. They just need to hear what's important. If somebody was trying to sell to me and they were selling me on the big picture and they were like, think about where you're going to be 5 years from now, I would have zero interest in their business. I'd be like, nope, don't need to hear that. I don't care. I can paint the vision for myself. Not that I don't care, but I'm like, I'm very much like, will you give me webinar support? Will you make sure that you will look over my marketing? I'm like, these are the things that I'm looking for. And if somebody tells me that, I'm like, great, I'm in. And I've invested heavily this year in my business as I scale my business to larger sizes than I ever even imagined, which is so exciting. But within this, these are the kind of buyers that you will say something like, they know exactly what their goals are. They know exactly how big the changes are that they want to make in their life. They also will be very excited by processes. They're like, okay, so what week do we start? They'll be like very like they want like they want to be able to like take time, and they're like, okay, how many hours will I need to allot for this? What am I expected? What do I need to do? And I actually have been on consults with other people, and just so you know what this will feel like, is that they are trying to sell me like this, and I'm like, I hear you and I already want to buy from you, but I'm like, this is not what I need to hear. They're selling me like the big vision. They're giving me like all these examples. And I'm like, I just need to hear dates and times. I need to hear, what is your process? Do I need to fill out a spreadsheet? Am I going to be doing a form? What are the exact things I need to do? And then I'm sold. You know, it's because it's just like, that's just how my brain works. And so, of course, I thought that everyone was like this. So that's how I sold on my consults. I was like, here are the results. Here's what you will get. And I learned over time that I need to be a little bit more flexible to the other types of buying styles as well. The other one that is very similar to me are the analytical buyers. They want data, studies, and numbers. They want to be like, okay, how many hours will I be working? How much have you been able to increase your consults for other people? They want to hear about how much time. They're very similar to the results driven people. These are more like process people. These are people who want like, how many people have you coached? How long have you been coaching? They'll ask questions that are very numbers based. How much time will I allow for this program? They also want to hear like stats. Like for me, when I'm thinking about my analytical buyers, if somebody tells me that they feel like they're working a whole lot, I'm like, that's fine. 84% of entrepreneurs report that they work over 40 hours a week. I'm like, so you're in a good place. Most people are like that. My goal is that we change the status quo for the industry. And when I say things like that on a consult call, those people light up. They're like, oh, she said a study. We love this. And I love to like sell to that style. And I want to make sure that like I have stats that actually speak to that. I see very few pieces of marketing that include data already. I see very few pieces of marketing that actually talk about the results, that are talking about clear processes that happen, that are talking about the benefits and the features of the program. I want you to think about if you do actually include data and studies in your marketing. Those are things that you can start including to start bringing people in, and then the quality of your posting is going to be even stronger to get people to book consults, to then do the consult with you and then buy. The last piece is the amicable buyer. They need to have certainty and confidence in your offer. They need to see that it has worked for you, that it has worked for other people, and that it will work for them too. That you have a proven process that works for everybody. Now, if you have not worked with anybody yet, I want you to think about things that you could do to be your own proof of concept. Your proof of concept just means that you are proving that what you do works. When you first start, you are your own proof of concept. You are the only person who has probably gotten results with what you do. And then as you grow your business, you're going to have testimonials. You're going to have other people that are booking consults with you. You're going to have people that are booking to work with you. And you want to make sure that you've got stories, you've got anecdotes, and you have actual testimonials that are on your marketing and things that are on your as a part of your sales calls. So for instance, the amicable buyers, they need to hear that probably a story of someone similar that has been in their shoes. So for me, when I'm doing a consult, I'll be like, you know what? I had a client just like you, Julie. When we worked together, she was also a working mom. She had kids and she also was trying to run her business part-time. Here's how we set it up for her. And I know we could make six-figure systems work for you in this exact same way. And then people are like, oh, great, you know me. They really build that know, like, and trust really quickly. And the reason why I have the asterisk next to amicable is these are the majority of buyers. The majority of buyers need to hear that certainty and that confidence that what you do will work for them. This could be things that you've even done for free. This could be working with people for a partial amount of time. It This could be people that you've worked with as a contractor. It doesn't have to be examples from just you, but it's enough for them to see that, okay, when I pay this person money, I'm not just paying money and hoping it's going to work. It's actually worked for someone else too. So within this as well, I see very, very few types of marketing that actually include testimonials. One of my freebie is a testimonial template because so few people actually do it. 89% of people need to see a testimonial to buy. And within that, only I think it was like 17 to 23% of businesses actually use testimonials. So most people need to see a testimonial. Nobody's including them. You want to be the type of business that includes testimonials. You want to make sure that you are actually putting testimonials in your marketing. What I recommend for my clients is doing a testimonial a week, sharing about clients' results every single week to be like, hey, by the way, I get results. By the way, I get results. Hey, I don't know if you knew this, but I get really good results. And just that reminder that it builds that confidence that people want to actually buy. So here's what I want you to do if you are on a sales call. This kind of address the marketing piece of things when we're thinking about like how to sell things in your marketing. This is when you're actually on a consult with somebody. I want you to be paying attention for these things. The first step on a sales call is you want to observe. You want to see how people are describing their problem. So when you get on a consult, I would recommend that you have the flow where you say, hey, thank you so much for joining. I want to hear a little bit more about you and why you decided to book a call. So you're going to hear things from there immediately. The way that they describe their problem is most likely going to be an indicator of their buying style. They might be saying, hey, things have been really hard. If that we've been really struggling, I've been struggling for my clients in six-figure systems. They would be like, I'm really struggling to get my business off the ground. I've been trying for what seems like forever and I haven't gotten results. And I know that that person is probably an expressive buyer, that they are probably the kind of person that needs a painted vision other than the vision that they have for themselves already. Because the vision that they have currently is sounding pretty sad. So I'm like, I need to help them think of a better way to view their business. And I'm thinking about how I can view their business and think about what I could do for them in six-figure systems where their business could be 6 months from now. And immediately I'm already thinking about that. I'm already like, okay, how can I show them a different way? How can I help them change their story? You also want to, as you're explaining your offer and you are like explaining specifically where they are now, and you're talking about how your offer could help them, you can throw in different things. So you can be like, most entrepreneurs really struggle with work-life balance. That's why I've created a planning system that helps you create work-life balance. And I could be like, it's going to change that statistic that like, I want more than 16% of entrepreneurs to say that they work an average of 40-hour weeks. And so I could say something like that on my consult, and then they could be like, oh, wow. Like I would then see that I would see some data-driven buyers. If it's a result-driven buyer, and I'm talking about how I've got a very specific, I call it the powerful positioning protocol, and it's the marketing calendar that I give them. And I'm like, okay, when you work with me, you get a marketing calendar, you know exactly how to use it. I will tell you exactly what type of post to do. I will tell you exactly when to post, what to post, and I will actually look over your post for you if you need it. And they start to light up. They're my results-driven people. And if they say where they are now is something that is like something that I've seen before, someone that I've worked with before, that's when I'm going to start thinking about those amicable buyers and start filling in those testimonials and thinking about, okay, who does this person remind me of? Okay, they remind me of Demetria. This is a person who wants to leave their job. They want to go full time. This is an aspiration. This is a client that literally did that. I can know to have that in my back pocket as we go along. So you want to kind of like observe, checking them out. And then the second piece that you want to do is on the sales call, you want to identify and make your best guess at which is the most compelling for them. So when we're selling people, again, you have a short period of time to give these people the best information that you can for them. This is a time when they can change the trajectory of their life by working with you. The results that you have are things that are really, really good and important. And we want to make sure that we're giving them actual good information to make the best decision they can. So when you are on the consult call and you're determining their buying style and you're like, okay, I'm checking in on this, I'm seeing which one's going to be important. You want to be having that in your back pocket and thinking about the ways that you can address that on the sales call when it gets time for them to ask questions. You want to be testing that out and you want to choose and be like, okay, I think this person is a results driven person. So I know I need to hit home the the engagement protocol. I know I need to be talking about CEO operations. I know I need to be hitting that if they're a results driven buyer. You need to be talking about how I've worked with over I think it's like 65 people in this mastermind. And I know it'll work for them too. There is no one I've had that has gone through the program that has gotten worse in any of these aspects ever. Everyone succeeds, everyone gets better. I know it's worked for everyone and I know it can work for you. You want to have those testimonials in your back pocket and you want to make sure that you're also painting the vision. And you're like, okay, if you're like me and my program is 6 months, I want to be like by 6 months from now, so that would be June, July, August, September, November, December. By December, I want your business to look unrecognizable. I want it to be completely different. I don't want you panicking about your business over the winter holiday. I don't want you looking in your bank account being like, man, this is all I've made this year. I want you to be like, man, this is what I made this year. I want you to have a totally different feel. I want you to be excited about your business. I don't want it to be something that you dread. I want you to look at social media and I want you to see DMs for days. I want you to have a full inbox that it becomes a problem in and of itself because you have so many people that are interested in responding to you that you are like at capacity. I want you to feel like that. And those are what the expressive buyers, they're going to be like, oh my gosh, I love this. So I'm like identifying and then I address it. I am answering and I'm giving them answers to their objections that are related to their buying style. So if they're like within that expressive buyer, if I'm like, they're like, I don't know if I can do this. I'm like, let me tell you, I'm going to paint the vision. When we start, you are going to start with whatever marketing you have so far. And then we're going to gradually add more and more posts every week so that by the end of the first 3 months, you are for sure getting at least 3 posts and 3 reels out a week. And then by the next 3 months, we're going to have that 90-day cycle to apply this. So you're going to be seeing results from the marketing you're doing. That would be how I would address that to the expressive buyer. For the results driven buyer, if their objection is about the time it's going to take, I already have an objection. I'm like, I'm going to teach you on the call. I'm like, so I don't want you to have to worry about setting aside extra time other than implementation to like learn different modules because I know you're busy. So I want to make sure that you learn things on the call. That would be how I address an objection of a potential result driven buyer. For a data-driven buyer, if they're like, when will I see the results? They're like, when day will I see the results? And I'm like, well, you get all the modules up until systems week. Systems week, we go through and it's like a boot camp. You get every single system in that week. And then after August 16th, you've got everything you need to hit 6 figures. So you're ready to roll. And they're like, whoa, okay, that's very data-driven. That's clear. And for my amicable buyers, that's where I would be like, you know what? Claire was in the exact same place that you were. She was feeling so stressed about being able to manage her business while she had a baby on the way. And I want to make sure that your business is in flow so that when you have that newborn, you're ready to go. I did that for Claire, and I know I could do that for you too. And making it really clear about that. I was like, Morgan, I'll answer your question in a minute. I was like, because we actually did a consult this week, and if I were to look at you, I think you were an expressive buyer. Would you agree with that? It was like,
I don't know. I feel like I care about all of these things, but I think in the moment, because I was in my emotions, I definitely was being expressive there, but I also care about all the other things that you mentioned.
That's such a good point. So the beauty of that is you want to not only speak to the buying style, but you also do get pieces of everything. So like in my consult, when I go through it with people, I have the results listed. I have the testimonials in my back pocket. I have all that ready to roll, but I do speak more to the things that I think you need. Such a good question. Oh, I love this. So, when we're thinking about changing your messaging, today I want you to walk away with a way that you can have a piece of your message that you can literally put on your marketing this week. And I also want you to have a response already in your back pocket for when you're on a consult. Because typically, what happens on the consult, I don't know if you guys have experienced this, but it is sometimes an activating experience. What I mean by that is your nervous system might be like, I have to make a sale. I have to make sure I do a good job. You're thinking about all of these things. And you want to make sure that as you are on the consult, that you have something already in your back pocket. So instead of it being something that like, oh my God, wait, what do I say to this result? Like, what do I say when I have an expressive buyer? What do I say when I have a results driven buyer? And you're like panicking in the moment. I want you to have a response already. So on the worksheet, and if you're just joining us, I have a worksheet that is going to be coming out in the email that came out, and I'm also going to put it in the chat. I want you to think of a really quick message for each type of style. So the expressive buyer, I'd be like, I want 6 years from now, when you have that baby at home, when you are like, and your little one is going to kindergarten, I want, if this is the expressive buyer that I was talking about that has a full-time job, is working part-time in their business. It's like, I want you to be full-time in your business, and I want you to be able to spend time with that little one as they go into kindergarten. 6 years from now, I want you to benefit from the work that you'll be doing in the next 6 months. And so you can just think about like, okay, how long is my offer? You can use the exact same messaging if you want, and you can be like 3 years from now, you'll look back and you'll be able to see the difference. But I want you to think about what that would actually look like. You could also, if you are thinking about, if you're writing some posts this week, if you're thinking about what kind of things you would have, you can also go through and you can change some of your messaging. If you don't talk to the expressive buyer, you can think about, okay, what would that expressive buyer, if I'm thinking that like, just using the names on here, Derica, I'm like thinking that like, okay, maybe she's an expressive buyer. I'm thinking about how I can write my post in a way that will be exciting for her. Moving forward, if we have a results driven buyer, these people need to hear the components of your offer, whether that is something tangible, like actual money or time, or whether that is something that is intangible, like a skill set, that you need to be speaking about that in your marketing. So for me, I'm like, you will develop marketing, sales, lead management, and planning skills from this investment. When you work with me, you will absolutely get better. I think about it like an unofficial solopreneur MBA. So that's why I think about it like that. I'm like, you are getting skills that aren't just going to help you right now. These are going to be skills that will last the whole lifetime of your business. So when I'm doing my marketing, I'm speaking to sharing that like skill sets. And the reason why like many of our offers are thousands of dollars is because it's not just for a short time, it's a transformation that they're getting. So I want you to think about like, what are the intangible things or changeable things that people could benefit from you? This could also be things like confidence. They could be less stressed. They could have better time management. They could have better work-life balance. They could have a vision for the future. What are those things that they're going to get after working with you? And that's what you need to be speaking to in your marketing. For the analytical buyers, you want to be thinking about what are data pieces that can help to support the fact that your business is filling a need that is important. This is where I just love to go onto Google and I'll like look up statistics and I'll be like, what percentage of entrepreneurs are burnt out? What percentage of entrepreneurs, how much does the average entrepreneur work every week? How much money does the average solopreneur make? Like I'll just Google random stats and I'll put them in my marketing. And that I found that just makes you so much more, it feels like you're more qualified. It gives people that expertise that like, hey, this person might know what they're talking about. Like, wow, okay, this is like actually legit. Like Morgan was mentioning, she kind of was like, I'm I feel like I'm all of these. Every single person will need to hear a little bit of everything. Everyone does have a little bit of everything. That's why I include like this little circle. It's like people will be different things at different places in their life, but you want to make sure that you're addressing it because it's going to give you authority in your messaging. And especially when you're on a consult, you're going to be like, I'm having that data in your back pocket can be really helpful. Last but not least, having something for the amicable buyers, being like, this has worked for all my clients and I know it will work for you. If you have worked with people, I would have actual stories ready to go. I would be like, okay, who is this? Like, almost like thinking about your clients as archetypes and being like, okay, this is one type of buyer who I'm working with. This is the problems that I'm experiencing with them, and this is how I've been able to solve it. Might work for other people who are in similar situations. Now, of course, every single person is unique and wonderful. We're not saying that everybody's the same person, but when you have that amicable buyer, when you've got that like person that just needs to hear that it's worked for other people, having that in your back pocket can be really helpful. And here's another reason why I would really, really highly recommend, even if you don't have exact clients' results, even if you just have like a story that you helped your cousin when they were, thumbs up to that. It was like when you just helped your cousin in a struggle that they've been experiencing, you still share about that. You can include their name or you can leave it anonymous. You can change a couple of the variables and you can be like, I worked with this person, I helped them, and I know I can help you too. I actually had a consult that I was doing a follow-up. It was with one of my potential clients, and she brought her husband on the call on our follow-up. And she was like, hey, like, and I was telling him, here's how I can help your wife with her business. Here are all the things. And he was like, okay, great. I just have one last question. Do you have anyone that I could reach out to for a recommendation? Is there any referrals that you have? He was an amicable type of buyer. A lot of your clients might be experiencing this too, where they might have another person that is vested interest in buying decisions that might be a different buying style than them. So that's another reason why including different pieces and different pieces of messaging in your consult is going to be really helpful. And what you can do there, I literally pulled up my Instagram and I said, every third post, there's a testimonial. I'm like, you can reach out to Jeremy, you can reach out to Anna, you could reach out to literally all of these people. I just had this whole thing. They paid on the spot, guys. They literally, like, he whipped out his credit card and was like, here, take it. We got it. And I'm like, awesome. So this is why it's so important for you. So with that being said, I know that getting that messaging down, I already think just by you showing up tonight, you are already experiencing a shift. That is my goal for every single one of you, is that you can already feel like, okay, I know something I can tweak to make my business even better moving forward. And I want to offer you that if you want support as you grow your business, I would love to help you. And I want to show you the systems that can make all of the aspects of your business work within six-figure systems. So when you are working with me in the mastermind, not only are you going to be able to get like support to make sure that you are thriving in all aspects of your business, but I actually do have a blueprint for a consult. I have an exact way that we would sell your offer. We would create a six-figure offer in the very first call, and then I would show you how to sell right away so that you can get more sales this summer. Like, I want you to be having a clear offer. I want you to know exactly what you're selling, and I want you to make sure that you get high conversion starting as soon as this upcoming week. I also want you to have clear and confident marketing. So just understanding the buying styles is going to get you places. Like, I can already see you guys. Like, I hope that we're friends on Instagram if we're not already, or if you have a different form of social media, I hope that we're connected there. But I already want to see shifts in your marketing. I want to see some numbers. I want to see some data. I want to see some testimonials. I think that's already going to make your marketing so much stronger. However, I have a very specific process that I go through with my masterminders that tells you exactly what to post every single week. You know what style of post to do for what piece of your audience. And it's just very, very specific so that you're not confused. You're not like, okay, well, It's a Tuesday. I just got up today and I have no idea what to post. I want you to know what you're going to post actually a whole month in advance, so you're ready to go. The next piece is if you are not getting consults, that is a problem that is solvable. I want to teach you how to get more leads, and I want to teach you a lead management protocol that I have where you bring in new people and you nurture your current people. I want you to have conversations going. You talk to 2,500 people a year with the protocol I have for just 30 minutes of time a day during the work week. So, oh yes, of course, Jan. Enjoy the trip that you're going on. But I want to make sure that you have that lead management protocol in your back pocket so that you aren't just waiting until like August to bring in some sales. You have people that you're in your pipeline that are ready to go whenever you decide to sell your offer. I also would love for you guys to have a work week that is planned out where you know exactly what to do when you get up. You're like, okay, I'm going to spend time doing the lead management thing. Here's the post that I'm going to do. I know exactly what to write for my email of the week. Everything is just very set, and you know what metrics to track. You know exactly how to craft your work week so you actually get return. Because doing things is great. Working in your business is awesome, but I want your work to be really efficient and productive. So that's what I would do, is I want to make sure that you have that support and know exactly what to do and track so you're getting results. And last but not least, my mastermind is a hybrid. So you get support with a community aspect and you also get support one-on-one. We would do a one-on-one call to start, and there would also be a community that you could start posting in. Now, with this mastermind, I actually decided that I didn't want to wait until August for people to join. I've already had a lot of people that were interested, that were really wanting to work together, and I actually am shifting the mastermind. This is the first time I'm doing this launch in this way, but I wanted you to be able to enroll as soon as you want, starting like now, and you could actually get those systems ahead of time. This is actually the first round I'm doing it. So I was like, actually, I saw Kenya and this is actually not happening for you guys, but it will be happening for future masterminds. You are going to get the 4 essential systems automatically. So I'm going to give you the first 4 modules the second that you join, and you're going to get the marketing protocol, you're going to get the managing leads protocol, the sales protocol, and the planning protocol right away. That's all included. Actually, someone just signed up last week, which is very exciting. So you're going to get that direction, clarity, and strategy immediately. For this round as well, you're also going to get a lot of feedback. So this is something that's been true for all the masterminds, but every mastermind at the beginning of the call, for the first 10 minutes, you get a form that I check, I respond to, and you would be able to send me messages that are personalized in there, starting as soon as the mastermind starts. There would also be a weekly 2-hour call for you to help you reach your goals. And for this round of the mastermind, I'm doing the curriculum a little bit differently. So I've always taught the modules live. I've always taught you the marketing calendar live. I've always taught the sales strategy live. But what's happening specifically for this round of the mastermind is you are getting just an intensive. So instead of me going through and teaching you a different module every week, you would just get everything all at once in 1 week. It's going to be called the Systems Bootcamp Week, Systems Week. It's going to be great. And you're going to get everything that you need all in that week and support beforehand so that you can be ready to roll. Also within this group, if you decide to join as soon as today, the group doesn't actually officially start until August 12th, but as soon as you join, you would get messaging support right away. So you could have like 2 extra months of fun support. Also, there's going to be a typical call 2 hours a week. These calls are going to be from 11 to 1 on Eastern on Wednesdays, that you would be able to get that support. And of course, an amazing community with people to work and bounce ideas off of. So for this round of the mastermind, there would be a systems week that is the 12th through the 16th from 12 to 2 every single day that week. You would get all of the systems. We would have every single template in your Google Drive. You'd be ready to roll. And then the calls would start from 11 to 1 from the 12th to after the 16th. then there would just be weekly calls. So it'd be one call a week after the Monday through Friday week. That would be systems week. This is the first time I'm telling you guys about this. So I'm like, I hope that's clear. Please put your questions in the chat also of them not being clear, because this is the first time I've ever sold it like this. And I want to make sure I address any questions you have. So the reason why I want you to also, if you're thinking about investing over the summer, is I would love for there to be more Hollies out in the world. Holly is one of my amazing clients, and when she worked with me, she had a bunch of different offers. So what we did is we completely revamped her offer. She started, and she had been in business for like 3 years. And because we created one single offer that was extremely profitable, we were like, this is going to work for her. It's her 6-figure offer. She was able to completely book out her coaching practice. She's actually 2 months. She had to hire, I think, 3 or 4 contract coaches to work for her. So she was not only fully booked, but then she decided brought on contractors so that she could help coach even more people. She doubled her conversion rate in the first 3 months. And I'm actually going to have her on the podcast. She's my first client that I got to 6 figures within the first 6 months that we worked together. So pretty awesome. So if you are considering joining, it's $850 a month if you want to do a payment plan, or it's $5,000 if you would like to pay in full. Totally up to you, whatever would be best for you. And the second that you make that first payment, what we would do is I would give you access to the Google Classroom. You would get all of that right ahead of time so that you'd be able to get started like right away. Now, I wanted to share about another client who has a very different situation. Armony had just gotten certified. She was one of my new clients. And when she got certified, she didn't have any structure for her coaching business. She had never actually coached anybody before. It was her first coaching practice. She literally, like, I think she got certified like the same week the group started. So she like really had no business background, no experience. She actually works for a nonprofit. And so she really didn't have much experience with business at all. Very similar to my story, because I had no business experience prior to this. And she actually got into a place where we actually created her first offer. So she didn't have an offer yet. We made her an awesome 6-figure offer. We structured and restructured the way that she was doing her coaching calls so that we can make sure that her clients were getting results. I want to make sure that she has proof of concept right away. So she got that. And she also learned how to have fun posting. So she works full time. She is a mom full time, and she was building her business part time. And doing that, we needed to make sure that her posting was really fast, really efficient. And we got her posting 6 times a week. And it actually only takes her 1 to 2 hours a week to get all those posts done. So I know this is possible for you depending on what your circumstances are. And Armony actually signed 3 clients in her first round as well. So if you would like just to book a consult, if you haven't done a consult with me, it's very fun. And we were just going to take 30 minutes and we're going to plan out the next 6 months of your business and see if I'm a good fit. So if you would like to do that, I would like to give you a bonus. So anyone who signs up for a consult by Friday, I'm actually going out of town with my amazing mother. We're going to Italy on Wednesday, which is going to be great, but I want to make sure to include a bonus for you. So if you book the consult by Friday, after our consult, I'll send you the notes that I take and give you the exact game plan of where you want to be 6 months from now. But I'm also going to send you this annual plan bonus to help you structure your summer so that you can have like work-life balance within your business. And if you book a consult by Friday, I'll send it to you after the consult. So that is all. Yes, I'm so excited. I was like, I can definitely send it to you, Morgan. I'll send you the annual plan. I got you. I was like, yeah, I can totally send you that. I think you'd love it. So if anybody has any questions, feel free. Yeah, you actually have it already. So you're in the mastermind already. It's in the bonuses. Fun fact. It's like, you actually have the annual plan. So you can go and check that out. And I will definitely send that to you as well. Oh, fun. My Instagram and website aren't working. Sad times. It was like, well, I will try, and it's been a fun technology day. So such an adventure. Thank you. Don't worry about it. I was like, I'll send it to you too. But Yeah, sorry about the links not working. I apologize. That person left the consult, but I wanted to go ahead and answer some questions. And I had some people write in, and my VA sent me these questions ahead of time. So if you have questions, raise your hand, put them in the chat. If you don't have questions, that's totally fine. I just want to make sure that I answered it for the people who had questions. Let me just get them pulled up. I should have had these on my phone earlier. I just literally, like, right before our call, I realized that my lovely, the link that I sent you was such an adventure and it was incorrect. So sorry about that. So if you go into your email right now, you will have an email from me with the consult link. If you, oh great, thank you, Morgan. If you go into your email, you should have an email from info@Megan Coaching with information about the mastermind. You'll have a link to book a consult and all of that information is in there. Otherwise, feel free to just hang out. I'll still be like definitely like making sure I talk with you guys about these fun different things. Okay, so Jennifer, if you watch this replay, because I know you couldn't come live, you said, what's the difference between a systems coach and a different kind of business coach? So I think that we talked and she's worked with like other business coaches before. And she was like, why is a systems business coach different? So if you guys haven't worked with a systems business coach, the thing that's a little bit different is I do a lot about the application piece of things. So within your business, there are things that you can do, and then there's also like the mindset you have about it. I think both pieces are really, really important. What I do as a systems coach is instead of coaching you first on your mindset, I actually like to give you the blueprint, give you the plan. So I'm like, here are the things to do. And then we coach on your mindset about like why that feels good for you and it doesn't feel good for you. And then we can coach on it. So that's the difference between systems business coaching and regular business coaching. Sam, this was a question that you asked, and I just wanted to address it for everybody. So Sam was wondering if this program is for them. They were like, I'm just getting started. I haven't had any experience like with their business at all. Like they literally don't even have social media. And Sharon was a client that I worked with in this past round. She just made her social media. She had no social media at all. But one of the things that I would recommend is it's a little bit easier to start with a plan. One of the things that I found is that I threw spaghetti at a wall and I tried to do all different types of marketing and didn't have a structure for my sales calls. And it just like took a long time for me to learn things. So that's one of the reasons why I do still think that even if you're at the very beginning of your business, if you haven't worked with anybody, if you know social media, I do still think this program will really benefit you. The only program that this is not for is I would say this is not for people who are thinking about starting a business, but like aren't really sure what they want their business to be. So if you're like, okay, I could see myself, like I know I want to do something, but I'm not sure. I want to think about doing other things. I could be a graphic designer or I could do website creation. And I could do this. This isn't for you if you're just thinking about starting a business and you have no idea what you want to do. This is for people who know what they want to start a business with. Awesome, Morgan, of course. It's so good to see you, and I'll send you that link too for the annual plan. Do I guarantee results? So for this program, I do. I guarantee that you will grow if you go through and you just show up every single week. I guarantee that if you fill out that progress form, I'm checking it every single week. So I will make sure that you are growing in marketing, that you will grow in managing leads, that you are going to grow in sales, and that you will grow in planning. I know that's going to happen. It is no one has ever dipped ever in this program that I've worked with. And if you do dip, guess what? I check in with you. So I would make sure that even if you do dip, that you do have at least results for that. So you know exactly what to do. That was Dara. Yes, that's for you. How fast will I get results? This was a very good question. When we're thinking about the results that you're getting for your business, I want you to get results as quickly as possible. I want to make sure you know exactly what metrics to track and that you can actually get started with that like right away. Like the person that joined last week, I'm already tracking her metrics. I already know she's like already getting ready to go. So within this, one of the things that I want you to do is if you show up, if you are just literally like showing up and tracking your metrics, I will make sure that you grow in your business. Now, how fast you get results will differ. I've had people who, like Sharon, joined and they didn't have any social media just yet. I've also had people who have joined, like Irma, and they had 30,000 people on their email list already. When you implement the systems, those different circumstances will determine how quickly you get results. If you have to build a bit audience from scratch, that does sometimes take a little bit more time. However, I do say that if you have the drive, if you really, really want this, and I think this is Tammy's question. So, Tammy, no matter where you're starting, I want you to know that if you go to work and you are like, you know what, I'm going to get these posts ready, I'm going to start messaging people, I know exactly what to say, I'm asking Megan for questions, I make sure that I will support you and get you exactly where you need to go. Oh, and the last question that I have, there were lots of questions, but I like kind of combined these a little bit. How the biggest question I get for people like right now is will like if I have to miss, if I have to like not work with people, how can I make sure that I like a lot of people are going on trips. Maybe it's the first week of school. Maybe you can't miss systems week or something like that. You can absolutely still join this round of the mastermind. You're going to get all of the modules ahead of time. So you're going to get everything right away. So you can watch it at your own pace. And if you miss systems week, what's going to happen is I'm going to record it all. So it's literally going to be there for you. I'm going to have the live recordings. And if you have to miss any week, that is not going to change the way that you get results. As long as you're filling out the form whenever you can and showing up to as many calls as you can, I promise you will get results, even if you can't come live. So with that being, and there were like so many people that were like, wait, but I can't come live. And I was like, that's okay. I promise that's good. So thank you guys so, so much for coming out on this Monday evening. You are amazing. If you would like to book a consult by Friday, I would love to do a consult with you. We won't be meeting this week, but we'll be meeting the next week, which will be really awesome. And then we're going to go and do some awesome consults. I'll send you the annual plan and you can get started with Six Figure Systems even as soon as this week. So I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your Monday, a wonderful rest of your week, and I will hopefully be seeing you all soon.